What is going on here?
It's the Chris Tries Scambaiting show.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to preface this video by apologising. I'm sorry I've not released a video for quite some time, scambaiting or otherwise, but what can I say? I've been spending all my days off recently, enjoying this fabulous British summertime. Today's Scambait features a scammer who, in spite of repeatedly casting doubts on how serious I am, spoiler warning, not very, keeps coming back for more, leaving me little to doubt that pickings have been rather slim lately, meaning this scammer has no choice but to gnaw at the bone that I throw him in hopes that he may get something for his effort. He doesn't. We start today with this perfectly composed email from Charles Ruth, featuring none of the usual hallmarks of a scam opener, such as spelling mistakes and poor grammar, that, for the first time in my scambaiting career, left me thinking that this was finally the real deal. It says, "This is to notify about your Lyft overpayment, and we've arranged all the document to make sure that you received your funds at this point without any delay. Hence, Citibank New York is now offering a special bonus to help all our customers that are having their payment in our custody. In order words, we are now requesting that those involved should pay only the sum of $950, and that will be for the lawyer who will come and sign the transfer document of the funds to your account. So, at this point, I'm going to give you the direct email, the World Bank, or office of the special, so that you can contact the office, because the officer who will going to bring the credible lawyer who will sign all the document for your transfer to your account, but that will only after if you have make the payment of the 950 Ooster, because the office will send you the lawyer account information so that you can make the payment to him. And after that, the officer will pass an instruction to Citibank for your transfer of 10.5 million USD. Besides, this is an opportunity for you to comply, and your funds shall be transferred to your designated address. But remember, after 5 days, you don't make the next payment, then we will divert your funds among UN payment to Ukraine refugees to avoid problem, or we shall cancel the payment for this year until next year, because this year is not like the previous year. Again, after 5 days, we shall commence immediately for next batch payment."
Featuring none of the usual hallmarks of a scam opener, such as spelling mistakes and poor grammar.
The email continues asking for all my personal information and a copy of my ID in order to set poor Ragaus Gupta on the path to becoming a victim of fraud and identity theft. So, wanting to set the standard for what kind of man Charles will be dealing with, I reply, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've had so many emails to deal with after returning home from my brief spell in prison for failure to pay my TV licence. I've only just caught up. This all sounds too good to be true. Before I proceed, may I request some ID or official documentation? I'm a pretty trusting fellow, but I've been burned before. Now, I like to dip my toe in to test the water before I dive head first. Do you understand?" Charles replies the following day to set me up with the next contact in the scam and leaves me to chew on this grammatical whopper. "Thanks for your mail and the information, and at this point I want to assure you that everything about this matter is going to be fine once you are able to follow the advice from this office. So, at this point, you have to contact our office direct, who will in charge of your payment, because the office has arranged for all of your documentation and the lawyer who is going to sign for the transfer document. In regards to the matter at hand, once you are able to contact the office will give you the lawyer account information so that you can pay for his charges, and then he will come in person and sign for all your transfer document. Then the funds can transfer to your account. Please contact the office now with the below information." Ignoring the office, I replied directly to Charles to query the supposed charges I have to pay, in spite of him already telling me in the opener. Charles replies with what I can only imagine is a template email, as it opens thanking me for the information which I most certainly did not provide yet. He follows up telling me the office is going to provide the account information needed for me to pay the advanced fee, and then just provides it to me underneath anyway. Must be a shared mailbox or something. Money Mule account reporting complete. I ping off a response reiterating my need for Charles's ID before we can progress any further. And boy, does Charles deliver. In a reply with no body other than the attachment, Charles sends me this completely valid ID. Where to start? First and foremost, it should be obvious to see that the name and address have been edited, and poorly at that. The images of Charles are so sloppily applied, I wouldn't call it photoshopping, I'd call it Windows 95 painting. One of the only genuine parts of this ID appears to be the fact that it can't be used for identification purposes. The word Michigan has clearly been text boxed over the main image, along with these two lines. I don't know what that's about. The man in the photo is wearing glasses, not something you can do in the UK. Not sure about the great state of Michigan, however. The sex has clearly been altered to male, but worst of all, the signature. Bundle Jowler. Satisfied, though for completely different reasons, I send this to Charles. Mr. Ruth, thank you for sending me your ID. I am pleased to see it was genuine and not some shoddy mock-up job. I'm glad to see the great state of Michigan did away with the rules about wearing sunglasses in official ID photos. They suit you very well. Anyway, I will go to the bank tomorrow to attempt payment of the £950. With any luck, you'll hear from me with good news and we can get me this money. Charles, deciding he's going to deal with this case personally and is no longer involving the office, replies to give me the account information again, no doubt worried I may transpose a number or something after correctly pegging Ragaus Gupta as being a challenging beneficiary to work with. 3 days later, I finally get back to the scammer and send him one of my expertly crafted fake receipts to continue with the scam. A whopping 10 days with no reply from Charles, and I'm just about to add this scam bait to a pile of failed attempts when I decide to try a little chaser. Did you get the money? Or nah? And lo and behold, I have to stay my hand as Charles does respond to me. You are not a serious man. That's not how bank slip looked like, my dear friend. You wouldn't send no money to the account giving to you. I have always think you are so reliable to deal with. I feign innocence and strap myself into teasing Charles back on the hook. The feat which seems all too easy given how eager the scammer is to resume talking to me. Perhaps he genuinely believed at this point there had been some error or delay. He says, "If you must have sent it as you said, what are your proof that you sent it? I am ready to see it." Happy to have an excuse to be incredulous with the scammer, I send "here's your proof" and reattach my lovely little receipt. Charles is having none of it, however, and sends this stroppy response. "Are you sure you are okay? How does it look? How does this look real to your eyes? This is never a bank slip, and you should stop sending this to me. I'm not happy with you. I thought you were reliable, not knowing you are one of the unreasonable people out there. If you make the payment, I am not sure of it." Oh, Charlie, I'm far more than just unreasonable. So I reply, "I am literally very okay. How are you?" "Of course it's real. I scanned it with my printer and everything." "You're not happy with me?" "Oh no, that's not what I want at all. I am reliable. I'm wondering why you're not reliably telling me that you've received the money." And the scammer, the cheeky bugger, tells me to get a statement full of my recent transactions from my non-existent bank showing the debit of the non-existent payment. This could be a problem. Time to push back. Responding indignantly, I say, "I'm not giving you all my transactions. Some of that is very personal. Let's let the proof be the money going into your account." And the scammer opens his reply with the most bizarre way I've ever been accused of lying before in my life. "It's almost a true you never did any transfer as you deemed said. I'm a reliable and honest man with respect and dignity. If you wish to work with me in your best of knowledge, I would love you get done this transfer. Your money couldn't be found in the account here." I reply with some waffle to serve as plausibility whilst I plan and scheme on how we can progress the scam to the next level, and the scammer helpfully suggests the following. "We have a lot of payment methods. You can send money through Bitcoin wallet, or you can go to any store close to you and buy any good gift card and send it via my email. I could proceed with you as we move further. Thank you." So, why Bitcoin and gift cards? Well, the answer is really quite simple. It's money laundering. Scammers love crypto and gift cards because of how easy they are to move, convert, trade into what appear to be genuine funds. These types of payment methods are still the most popular amongst the scams that I personally see and deal with on a daily basis. So my advice to anyone being asked to pay via one of these methods would be exercise cynicism and really scrutinize what you're expecting to get from this transaction. The safest payment methods are still cash on collection for a private sale, paying via card through a Visa payment platform, normally on the website, or something like PayPal. Each of these offer a degree of protection if something goes wrong and you need to get your money back. Oh, by the way, whilst I've got you here, you may notice the quality of the emails has dipped after this point. This is because I finished screen shooting these emails on a multi-monitor device, which takes a larger image over all screens instead of a nice, crisp, focused image of one, meaning the remaining emails are a bit more pixely. I have tried to mitigate this best I can, but say from redoing them all over again, this is what we've got to work with. I tell Charles I'll give Bitcoin a go whilst nefariously rubbing my hands together, knowing what I can send him. The scammer laps this suggestion up immediately and replies telling me to get it done today, whilst instructing me to be very see-through and honest. He gives me his Bitcoin wallet ID, so why don't we have a look and see if there's anything interesting on there? Oops, apparently not. Oh, dee-dums. I fire off 2 emails querying what would happen if the other money I sent credits his account in the meantime, as well as asking how much I'm meant to be receiving, forcing the scammer to repeat himself. And Charles sends this bizarre reply I have no choice but to read to you. I'm a very good and kind man with a God-fearing heart. Once your money is received twice, I will forward it back to you with immediate effect. I wanted us to make this look cool in the eyes, which I demanded you pay this money through Bitcoin. Once you made the payment, we can proceed on getting all the documents ready. I'm waiting for the Bitcoin receipt. What? And 6 minutes later replies to my second email, not sure why it couldn't have all been one reply, to say, I am about to take care of other things around me. The money in question is 10 million Ooster, so you really do not know much about it. Or what? Money will be going directly to your account from Citibank. I wish to let know you that all necessary that needs to be done has been put to place. You are holding on this right now. And I respond thusly. Thank you for those 2 almost incoherent emails. I've managed to send the money via Bitcoin. Here is the receipt, which I happen to think looks pretty good. I especially am proud of the reference I used to help narrow it down for Charles, who's clearly a few plates short of a dinner table. Unsurprisingly, the scammer is puzzled as to why he hasn't seen the funds in his wallet and questions if my receipt is even authentic. Gosh, there's a lot of that going on recently. I fire back a quickie to further delay and annoy Charles with waffle about timeframes, who responds with this adolescent diatribe. You are a very stupid and hopeless man. You are making me look kid to you.
I don't know why he's being cheeky. Why is he being cheeky?
Ever want to allow scammers to get away with suggesting that I make them look kid? I reply, excuse me, sir. I'll have you know that I am a dental hygienist. I have a right mind to record both payments until you apologise. And Charles replies confessing to all the feelings that I set out to make these scammers experience when I scambait them. I am very sorry if you feel offended, and I got angry because I am tired of writing to you about this transaction. I really want you to do the needful and stop jokes, my dear. I am no kid right now. Caressing with the same hand that dealt the blow, I send, no, you're definitely not a small boy, so fear not, Charles, my opinion of you has not changed. It's okay to get angry. I imagine other people get angry if they have to deal with you as well, though for perhaps different reasons. To which the scammer replies with a defeated email stating he has not yet had any money. Well, duh! So I reply with a curt, oh, damn. Several days pass with Charles and I at this impasse, and I throw my hat back in to see if I can bring the scammer back for another round. And despite protesting my contact, Charles's reply marks only the halfway point for this scam bait, as after this we continue to go back and forth for another 10 days or so, further supporting my idea that Charles is just not really a very successful advanced fee scammer. Oh, Charlie, maybe it's time you considered a new line of work. So, after correctly identifying Ragaus Gupta as not a serious man, it's time for me to send a not serious but otherwise indignant reply. Sir, if you have not received the payment, then you need to communicate that to me. We both were waiting for the 48-hour We both were waiting for the 48-hour clearance period I spoke of, yes. When I didn't hear from you, I assumed the money had been paid and you had initiated the next step in the process. Your lack of communication speaks volumes of your unprofessionalism. I've been serious about this since the beginning. So, my question to you is, may I ask you a few questions relating to this business now that we understand that the money has not arrived and we need to do something about that? Charles, so thin on the ground with other victims or just unable to help himself, continues to be suckered in by my narrative as opposed to me falling for his. If you are ready to work with me as you said, you had a lot of things you need to do so that things will go all right. I gave you bank account, you did nothing now. I gave you Bitcoin wallet, I got nothing from you. Something that doesn't take time to pay in. I left you here because I am tired of explaining things to you. Maybe you are not serious about it. Today is a new day, and I expect to get a good news from you. And me being overt with my feelings on the continuation of this charade. Send. Charles, nothing would please me more than to keep this communication going and get all the details necessary to finally make our business come to fruition. I've had both the Bitcoin and bank payments bounce back. This is an annoying feature of my online accounts which tried to protect me from potential fraud by making all large payments face a delay to allow time for them to recall the payments just in case. So, that being said, what other options do we have aside from the two we've tried already? The scammer, intent on exploring every option in some desperate hope that I am not being a facetious internet scallywag and might actually be trying to send him money, suggests I withdraw the funds as cash and send him photographic proof. And I reply telling him I'll do just that, to which Charles sends this pointless reply. The next day, as promised, I send the scammer this photo of some money that I absolutely withdrew from the post office myself and did not pilfer from online image search engines such as Google. Lo and behold, the scammer has taken it at face value, promises me a brand new account I can send the money to, and asks which US state I live in. And I helpfully respond, yeah, you can give me another account, sure. Oh, I don't live in the USA. Puzzled now, Charles asks me where I live, as well as inviting me to write a brief about myself, which is not an opportunity I can simply pass up. I live in the UK, which I think is one of the reasons we've had so much trouble having to send money in a different currency. Maybe if we deal in pounds now, it might be a smoother process. A brief bit about me. Well, I'm Ragaus Gupta. I'm 56 years old, dental hygienist. I was married to a lady called Doreen, who was the national over-50s female wrestling champ, but sadly that marriage fell apart shortly after a scammer claimed I'd won a BMW lottery. It was all a sham, obviously, but we believed it for a while, and when we lost our money, she up and left me for some guy called Alejandro. She now lives in Spain with him. A tragic tale, really, but at least luck is on my side once more. As soon as I get this money, I will retire and enjoy my twilight years. The scammer ignores Ragaus's autobiographical tidbits and asks if he can give me a UK bank account to send the money to, or to try Bitcoin again, which is just what I wanted, as the more accounts reported to the respective fraud teams, the more successful my scam bait is. Annoying the scammers is just a juicy bonus. I reply asking for both the UK bank account and more Bitcoin wallet details, but am coy as to which one I'll try, because I can only know which is best when I wake up in the morning and get the right feeling. Do you know what I mean? Charles is so beside himself with excitement, he sends me this somewhat rambling response, along with the promised account details. Here is the account, and I want you to send me a good receipt of payment, and I would want you to make sure you were able to make a total payment of £1,000 signed, so that the lawyer will have his full money complete, so he could be able to ascertain all possible documents in your name. I would be glad if you will listen to me, so that I will direct you more. You are sending the money in pounds, £, which will be the best for you. Here are the account. And I keep the boat of lies and deception afloat by telling the scammer I'll send the money later, that very day. Charles reminds me to send him a copy of the payment slip for the lawyer and ends his email calling me his good friend. Aw, makes a change from very stupid and hopeless man.
Cheeky.
Let's see how long this 180 of his opinion of me lasts. A plausible amount of time later, when I know Charles is frantically refreshing his mailbox awaiting my receipt, I send this spanner in the works shaped email. Hi Charlie, I've made the payment and have a copy of the receipt. One thing did make me ponder aloud with a very audible however, when I was making the payment. A satisfactory answer to the following question is necessary before I send you the receipt. Why did I make a payment to a bank in Estonia when you and your business of my money is coming from Citibank in New York, USA? And Charles wows me with his mastery of the English language. Once again, you were the one who deem of a best possibility of which you will make the payment. I gave you a lot of bank I gave you a lot of bank which I wanted you to pay in America, but you told me a lot of stories. If you are sure of yourself and you made the payment, send a slip of confirmation so that you will continue to work with the lawyer for a possible transaction now. What the hell does that even mean? But I push back to elongate Charles's suffering in getting his hands on that beloved receipt. I'm just saying, where was the account for Citibank New York? Was there ever an account for Citibank New York? Seems odd all the methods you've given me so far do not relate to the bank that you purport to be associated with. But the scammer, rather than put a little time and effort into crafting a lie, just threatens to pull the plug on this whole business instead, as though I'm the one with something to lose and not him. He follows up asking for some confirmation that I have indeed sent payment one way or another. And I, sensing this desperation, respond with, I suppose at this point you just want the receipt, correct? And for me to stop yanking your chain, asking all these annoying questions? Bizarrely, we actually lose Charles for a bit after the previous email, so after a few days had passed, I finally sent Charles what he so desperately desires. Charlie,
My boy.
please find attached the receipt for the payment of £1,000. Please hire the lawyer now so we can do the thing and get me the money. Come on, Charlie, I'm sick of working now. I want what Citibank owes me. And this is the aforementioned receipt. I wanted to be a little tongue-in-cheek by including the original Chris Tries logo, just on the off chance that he may say something about it. But honestly, at this point, I really thought we had lost the scammer, so I was happy to throw caution to the wind. But we're not done with Charles just yet, though. In the first scathing rebuke of his downfall, the scammer sends this. Mr. Ragaus, why are you so untrustworthy? Where on earth have you seen a slip of payment like that? I'm tired of you. Seriously, you are not making me. But Ragaus, as ever, is ready to push back with an incredulous, that's what they sent me. Also, why am I seriously not making you? Now, once again after this email, Charles went quiet on me, leaving me to think he had finally ditched me. Until, did you have a good news today? Did you have a good news today? And there being only one real way to respond to that, I send, no. Did you? Charles, who I will commend on his tenacity, replies to say, you did not make any payment, and I will not ask you about the transaction anymore. Having exhausted most avenues for avoiding payment, I decide if Charles is still willing to keep replying, then the least I can do is reveal and explore the very nature of Charles's scammy ways. Excuse me, but I did make a payment. I sent you a receipt and everything. Fine. If you don't want to talk about the transaction anymore, how about you tell me how long you've been trying to scam people by email then? Charles, obliging as ever, hits me up with a reply which not only aims to shame me and my antics, but also to provide feedback on the quality of my receipt creation. I wouldn't take any insult from you. That receipt was never real and I have told you to stop playing with me. Have you seen a payment slip that does not have the bank details and the bank name on it? Please stop writing, you are a joker. I extend my usual olive branch to see if the scammer can give us some insight to their world by sending, you will take insult from me. The receipt was real, it just never indicated the transfer of money. I put at least 8 minutes of my time into making that for you. Unfortunately, I can't stop writing, even though you are a criminal who tries to scam people. I find myself inexplicably drawn to you, as though we could move beyond the facade and actually just talk. Tell you what, if you agree to answer a few questions about why you do what you do, no personal details or anything, I just want to understand your side of the story, then I'll give you an actual gift card you can sell for some cash. Deal? But in a retort dripping with irony, the scammer responds, we could stop so far. I'm not as greedy as a bastard like you. Well, we can't let Charles get away with sending such a rude and factually incorrect reply as that, so How am I greedy? You don't seriously think I believed for 1 second that the money you were going to send me was real? Of course it isn't. The only greedy one here is you. You wanted my £1,000 for nothing. You wanted my £1,000 because you are an advanced fee scammer. I believe 419 is a term they use. So, do you want to make at least a fraction of that for all our time together and your time wasted? The scammer's penultimate email to me is a mix of insult and invitation. Just see what I made for yourselves. When you come to America, call me on the phone. I will have a breakfast with you so that you will know who is the greedy bastard here. A lot which you don't know are going on, so maybe you are not used to online things. Thank you for the time wasted with you. Remain blessed. Bursting back open the metaphorical door slammed in my face, I chase with, but you're not in America. Why not give me your number now and we can talk? You can tell me over the phone how greedy I am chasing after fake money to wind up a scammer. Surprise, surprise, Charles doesn't like that idea, but his final email to me does offer one last curiosity. You cannot call me. A lot of cheap things are going on here. I will teach you how to make money in a big ways because you are very poor. Interested to see where this could go, I reply enthusiastically to Charles's final assertion. Okay, Charles, I am willing to learn to become a scammer so I can earn a lot of money like you, as I am indeed very poor. No reply. Charles, when are you going to teach me how to scam people? Nothing. Charles, when do we start scamming? It would appear the lessons training me to become a competent and successful scammer like Charles are on an indefinite hiatus for now. Maybe I'm too greedy, maybe I need to attend the introductory American breakfast first. One thing's for sure, however, this scammer wasted more time trying to one-up me in the end, but as this was time not spent crafting emails and trying to scam other potential victims, I'd call that a win for us. Well guys, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Again, apologies for the gap between this episode and the last. Things have just been really busy at work and at home recently. The next video will be my second gaming challenge video, of which the footage is complete and the script is about 50% done. So hopefully not too long until that's on YouTube if you're interested. Finally, as of recording this, I am nearing 500 subscribers, which for me is just bonkers. So I just want to thank you all again for subscribing because it really does mean a lot to me. I may do a Q&A video if I ever reach 1,000 subscribers. So if that is something that you're interested in, then closer to that time, I will put out a request for any questions that you'd maybe like to have answered by me. If you want to keep in touch for future content, then please consider subscribing. And if you fancy a chat, leave a comment down below and you know I'll always get back to you. Other than that, folks, all that's left to say is take care and I'll see you in the next one. Oh yeah, look at this. This is my Fallout top. I'm not plugging my first Fallout Gaming Challenge video, but I mean, if it does prompt you to go and watch it, because I quite like it, I'm quite proud of it, then please, you know, check it out. I shouldn't do that. I jiggle. I've been busy enjoying the sunny British. Jesus. Oh my God. The fabulous British summertime. Today's... I'm sorry it's taken so long for another video, scam baiting or otherwise, but what can I say? Hit the table! Or PayPal. Each of these offers... So why... But... These types of payment methods are still the most popular amongst scams that I personally... of just how easy it is to move, convert, or trade into what appear to be genuine funds. Further supporting my idea that Charles is just not a very successful advanced fee scammer. Oh dear, Charlie.